What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I hope you're having an awesome everything. One of the things that I really personally like, and I didn't really want to like him. I really didn't want to like him. So when I found out about Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe Rogan Experience, it was during the beginning stages of it when he was still kind of fumbling on how to get an interview style on and everything like that. But he has had some bangers, and one of the clips that I would like us to check out today is with another one of my favorite groups, and that's Sam and Colby. They went from Vine stars to YouTube mega sensations. The Explorer brand is super huge. They are amazing guys. I've been down with Sam and Colby since Trap House, and those of you who knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. Trap House for life, guys. And that, wow, that went Illuminati real quick. Not Illuminati. But this particular clip that I wanted to check out is called How to Stay Credible. Sam Experienced a Demon. It's off of the Joe Rogan Experience one that he did with them. And I mean, they just seem so, like the three of them together, I think my head would explode if I was in that room, because well, four of them, I'm sorry. Because they just all seem like super cool people. You know, they say never meet your heroes, but I honestly think meeting any of the four people in this room, I highly doubt I would be disappointed. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Anyway, let's take a look at it real quick. I'll see you in the clip.
My stepfather, who's like a very like sober thinking, like rational person, went to Gettysburg. And he said, you can feel the sadness.
It's super haunted, man.
It feels horrible. Like you're there and you feel death. He goes, I've never felt anything like that. Like you're at a battleground. And, you know, even though it's 200 years ago or whatever it was, less than 200 years ago, you feel it. He goes, you can feel it. He goes, I had to get out of there.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of these places. It's not necessarily like, oh, like, you know, immediately you're just like, oh, yeah, this is spiritual energy or whatever like that. But it's just heavy. Or it's just like you feel off when you go into these places. Like, as soon as you stepped into the Conjuring house. Have you ever seen the Conjuring movies?
Yes.
So they're actually based on a real house in Rhode Island. No. And that was one of those places that we had walked into. And you were
the first time that they went to.
I almost threw up. And I'm not... So what's interesting about the paranormal and what we've learned the past 4 years is that it affects people differently. Some people can see stuff. Some people claim they're mediums and can communicate more. I feel like I have more of like an empathic, like almost like I just feel worse like whenever there's something around. And so when we first walked into the Conjuring house, like there was a point where I thought I was going to throw up, and I was looking for exits.
What's the real story behind the Conjuring house? What's the actual story?
So, yeah, the movie story is like this witch, Bathsheba or whatever. But the actual story, there's a bunch of different things that they say are haunted, but it's actually built on the grounds of the...
Is that the house?
That's it.
Yeah, it's creepy. House. It's an amazing house.
The state that launched the Conjuring universe.
There we go. Yeah.
What is it, like the Marvel Comics universe? What does that mean? The Conjuring universe? How weird.
Oh, jeez.
That's the problem. Like people, when you start making an industry out of something,
turns into a business.
Yeah. So what's the original story?
So the most famous we'll get to, but like it's built on the same grounds that the King Philip's War was fought on, like right at the beginning of United States and everything. So the main people that haunt that are like 7 dead soldiers that this little girl always kept seeing in the walls, and thus it started manifesting more to the entire family. So this family called the Perrin family bought the place in like I think 1972, and for 10 years they said they would see, you know, these figures, these soldiers walking around, like their beds would shake, they would get scratches, like, and it kept getting worse over the 10 years. And the crazy part is it got to become famous because of like the final day that like changed it all. They wanted to do like an exorcism on the house because I think who was the mom Perrin? Whatever.
Carolyn?
The mom Perrin.
Carolyn Perrin. Yeah, Carolyn Perrin was getting
Elder
like
Perrin.
really bad. Like she would have things happen to her every single day. You know, furniture would move. All these
like
sort of
singled
things.
out.
She was getting like really rash with everything. So she brought in these demonologists to her.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Ed and Lorraine
if you've
Warren.
heard of them before.
No.
They're like the demonologists, the paranormal investigators. They are like the fathers of it all.
Maybe I have heard of them. Are they featured in the Zach Bagan
Yes.
Museum?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
that's where I've heard
God.
of them.
Yeah,
We'll
which
check
is
him
also
out
a crazy
later,
place
guys.
to
Yeah.
talk about that. But yeah, so anyway,
I just went.
really,
You just
I
went?
just went a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, my daughter dragged me to that too.
hey, there we go, Vegas. Yeah, so
real
they were
loud.
doing this like exorcism, and
That's them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's those folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
so they do an exorcism there.
they were doing an exorcism, and I don't know exactly prior to whatever happened, why they called it. She was just having a bad time, just like over the last couple of years, and they wanted to end. And to her claim, she was actually thrown like across the
Levitated
entire like room and smashed into a wall to where she had injuries. And they were so angry about that they actually kicked out the demonologist.
They punched Ed in the face.
Yeah, they punched that guy in the face because they thought he was the guy that was like making it worse. But I think it just like pissed him off. And so that thing.
When you say they punched him in the face, you mean the ghost punched him in the face?
No. The Perrin family.
dad,
Sorry.
the dad did.
okay.
The Perrin family was like
They're getting assaulted?
And
the Perrin
peppered.
family, was like really
They punched
upset.
him in the face because he thought that he threw the wife across the room? Or
Yeah.
he was
He
responsible
thought
for it?
they made it, or he was there, and like the exorcism that he was conducting made it more angry, which in turn hurt his wife.
Oh, so he got angry.
He was
Yeah,
like,
but
"Stop
you
doing this."
Brought him
Punched
in.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly,
It's like
yeah.
hiring a priest
Sell
and
the
then
house,
punching
bro.
a priest.
Right.
For real.
Move.
Check it out.
Exactly.
Run.
Move down the street.
Punching people.
Come on.
So the Perrin family actually
So
wrote
it's
a
the
book
guy
about
from
that,
MMA.
and
Really?
they say the Conjuring movies actually don't do it justice of all the things that happened and all the movements and the craziness that happened in that 10 years that they lived there. They were
Really?
like in the real life actually experiencing it and the trauma that they went through. They say it's like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Than
And so they feel like it was dead soldiers, like murdered soldiers on the battlefield. Somehow or another,
sure.
that's
Well, here's where it gets interesting is they don't know what it is, but they believe it is something more evil or demonic, whatever you believe in, that is like controlling all of these like soldiers and stuff and trapping them. Movie goes with that's a person named Bathsheba who was like a neighbor who everybody just thought was a witch. But in real life, it was just known as a demonic possession, but no trace back of like what it was.
That's an interesting thing, right? Like, because that's in a lot of these cases. They feel like it's not just ghosts, but it's ghosts that are being controlled by some sort of a demonic entity.
Right.
And the demonic entity keeps these ghosts there, which is like another layer of belief you have to
Right.
have. Like,
Exactly.
you don't just believe that maybe when people die, their energy gets left behind, and then maybe that energy gets controlled by demons.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
That's
now
like
we're-
another level.
We're so into crazy now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm willing to go there.
It gets meta. It gets very meta.
But if you did encounter a demon, nobody would fucking believe you. And then
hell
you would
no.
be trapped. You would be this person who, for the rest of your life, oh, there goes Bob and his fucking demon stories. Like, no one would buy it. But
exactly. Same thing with aliens or
Right.
anything. Like
Yeah,
anything you
right.
see that are outside of this like logical
Physical world.
normal daily encounters. Yeah. Anything outside of that, Bigfoot, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything where you see things. And there's been many times that people have seen things that they swear were real. And you go, God, that poor fuck. I would rather not see those things and then just have everybody just looking at you. Oh, here comes Mike with his wacky ideas.
I'm gonna say the snafu was on the person that was labeling the stuff. Maybe they just got the label wrong on the thing. Clearly, we didn't really hear anything about Sam experiencing a demon. Yeah, and the whole thing with Ed and Lorraine Warren. There's some people that swear by them. It's a very hot button issue. Same with Zach Baggins, or Baggins. Well, begging for the Baggins in some cases. Yeah, kind of iffy. Kind of funny entertainment when it comes to Baggins. I used to be a diehard Ghost Adventures fan until some of the stuff just kind of like it just kind of ebbed down real quick. And even though like he was, I don't want to use the term douchey, but you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen Ghost Adventures, you know the Ed Hardy shirts and the spiked hair and everything. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I did paranormal investigations for like close to 30 years off and on. And let me tell you, man, if you find that many places that are legit and give regular activity, because I'll be the first one to admit, man, I have no idea. I mean, there were some times when we saw some pretty crazy stuff, and we got good stuff on video, we got good stuff on thermal, we got good stuff, you know, EMF recordings or EMF meter fluctuations, good EVPs, solid stuff, you know, in completely locked off rooms with no open vents or anything. But for every one piece of evidence you get, there's like 30 hours worth of nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, it's a very... I applaud the people that are willing to just hammer it out, because you get some paranormal groups that, man, they are 100%, you know, they're diehard, they're committed to the study of parapsychology, and it's an amazing subject to study, because it's definitely not just like ghosts, ESP, demonology. Those are definitely facets of it, but you also have to know a little bit about like wiring, structural integrity of houses, infrasound, just a bunch of other stuff that hardly ever gets touched on. You know, it's definitely not a tunnel vision kind of thing to learn about. Still kind of a cool clip. I love Joe Rogan. I love Sam and Colby. So, I mean, for me personally, it's a win all the way around. And, you know, getting a little bit more information concerning the Conjuring house and how kind of sounds almost like an Amity situation, where like the book / movie doesn't really correspond with what actually happens. But then you got to think about it. For the amount of time that they lived in the house, like you have to you got to bottleneck all that stuff down into an hour. So of course you're going to go for the biggest things, not necessarily go for like massive time jumps or massive gaps. And you can't really give them every single thing that happened every single day, every single time. You know, you gotta give the movie makers a little bit of credit. Plus, I love James Wan. He's doing the Dead by Daylight movie with Atomic Dog and Blumhouse Entertainment. Blumhouse is the same company that did this recent Halloween trilogy. The first of the three were good. And major shout out to Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down, Mighty Gemstones. Writer, co-writer, co-executive producer. The man is amazing. Thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you enjoyed the clip. If you like what you saw, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe. I hope you had fun with it. I hope you had fun with it. And thank you for being here. If you made it this far, I am incredibly grateful to you. Be safe. Watch out for each other. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.